Hi everyone, this is Justin Leoy, Park Slope therapist. Noon on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. I want to talk today because fathers even today, are often still thought of as secondary caregivers. Often in therapy, I have to ask about my clients' dads because their mother's stories are so predominant, so prominent in that. But dads, um, no matter what, they have a strong impact on us. And so those of you watching who are dads, you need to know that. And you'll teach a lot of things as a father. The most important thing, along with being a decent human being to others, is supporting your child and accepting themselves and not growing up with a sense of shame. And I wanted to tell about a time about how my dad did that for me when I was about 11 years old. So I've been planning this for weeks, and this was going to be the Sunday that it happened. Yeah, every Sunday morning, my dad and I would go to Mass together at 8 a.m. Liked 8 a.m. because there was no singing until the 9 a.m. Mass, and which always added another 20 minutes or so to the services. So I, even at pre-puberty, was very religious, but as long as we got through communion, I thought I'd avoid hell, so there was only a little bit of guilt about doing this. Still, there were two stops we'd make after Mass that I really looked forward to. First, we'd go to the bakery, and I could choose whatever I wanted. And I always wanted jelly donuts, and the sugar-coated kind, not the powdered ones. I hated those; they're very messy. But the granulated sugar ones that came just out of the oven with sweet, sugary grape jelly in the donut, and I would get 3 of them. My dad always got a crumb bun, which I thought was really boring. And if growing up meant eating crumb buns on Sunday mornings, I wanted no part of being an adult. But after the bakery, our second stop, we'd go to a store for my dad to get his newspaper and play the lottery. And while he did this, I got to choose an Archie comic book. And I loved Archie growing up. As a kid, you can't tell now, but I had red hair and lived my life through the wonders of Riverdale, which made Yonkers just seem very sad and gray. And so we had this routine for years. And starting out, I was short enough where I could just see the Archie comic books. But as I grew older and taller, I'd see the next level, which had like Spider-Man and Superman, but I didn't have much interest in those. As I kept growing and kept looking up, there was another farther away shelf, a shelf where the magazine covers were blocked off, and all you could see were the titles. And these were in my reach, but they were clearly forbidden. But I was 11, and Betty and Veronica were not doing it for me as much, and I really wanted to know what was behind the covers of Playboy. But I didn't want my church-going dad to know this. So I started my plan, and it ended up being very simple. After Mass, I just tell Dad, you know what, I think there's a new double digest out today for Archie, so I'm gonna skip the bakery and go right to the comic book store. So don't forget my jelly donuts. I knew I had 7 extra minutes, and this was going to be more than enough time to take a quick look. So as he parked the car, I darted down the block, ran into the store, quick left, reach up, grab the magazine, and open it up, and it was just filled with words. I mean, page after page of things to read. As I kept flipping, trying to get to what I was looking for, I heard behind me, "Hey, what are you doing?" My plan had not factored in the dude who owned the store. So as I turned around, filled with anger that this all seemed to be for nothing, things suddenly started to get a lot worse, because next to the owner was Mrs. Moretti. This was the 93-year-old woman who sat in front of us in church, looking as confused and as severe as she always did. I thought fast and folded the magazine so she wouldn't see what I'd been looking at and see my shame. My anger at this point had shifted to shame. So I ran to the back of the store, I started breathing, started talking myself down, saying, "Okay, you're okay, this is over, I'm going to be okay." And just as I had convinced myself of that, I heard the bell ring that signaled that another customer came in. I heard the store owner, "Sir, is that your son with the red hair?" My dad says yes. And I'm thinking, it's fine, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be fine. And then the owner says, "Well, he was looking at Playboy." And he said it as if he had accused me of beating up one of the 12 apostles. Yeah. I heard the disgust in the owner's voice and felt that shame even more. And that was it. I walked to the front of the store, out the door, into the car. Not a word was said all the way home. It was 5 minutes. It felt like 3 days. I ran from the car directly to the place that shame goes to thrive, the bathroom. And I just sat there, just wondering how I could live with myself. I mean, shame is horrible. It's horrible. But when it's exposed, how do you come back from that? My mother knocked on the door. My father knocked on the door. I'm fine. I'm fine. Well, my dad finally encouraged me to come out, and we went into the family room, and he sat me down. I remember there were very few lights on in there. We never opened the blinds in that room. And I remember thinking, thank God, I can hide some of the shame in this. And then my dad said that he knew what had happened, and then he said, sex was wonderful. When you're older and you're in love and you're married, and we'll talk about it later, but it's wonderful. And he said he wasn't angry at what I'd done. He just said, I'm just upset that you felt you couldn't talk to me. And I want you to know that you didn't have to hide. So, thank you, Dad, and happy Father's Day.